Halito Chumachugma, this is Chief Steve coming at y'all with another episode of True Story. We got a real interesting one for you guys today, but before we get into it, make sure you guys like and hype this video up. Comment in the comment section, get real interactive. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell as well. So whenever I drop these bombs, you'll be the first ones to grab them. Alrighty, without further ado, let's get into it.
This is the war they never taught us. From 1492 to 1775, America wasn't discovered, it was invaded. Not by one country, by 7. Russia came through Alaska. The Netherlands took parts of Canada. Britain and England worked both east and west coasts. France came up through New Orleans and the Gulf. Italy moved through Texas and Gulf territories. Spain invaded from the west coast down through Argentina and Chile and back up the spine of America. This wasn't exploration. This was a 283-year war, and the target indigenous Black Americans, the copper-colored, wool-haired people already here. They didn't come here to enslave Africans. They came to steal land from the indigenous. They just called us Negro to erase who we were. By 1775, we surrendered. We lost our right to vote, lost our land, and got renamed. They threw us on reservations if we submitted, and labeled us Negro if we refused. And now they act like we don't belong, like our story started on a slave ship. But the truth, the ships never brought us here. They were used to ship us out, erase us from this land. This war wasn't just physical, it was legal, paper genocide, land grabs, reclassification. The original Americans are now called everything but what we are. You want to know why we're struggling? Because we're fighting under false names, false history, and stolen status. It's time to correct it. Learn the truth. Reclaim your status. You're not lost. You were renamed. And now it's time to return.
So after this year, I will no longer be referring to my people as black folk. I will be referring to my people as indigenous Americans. If y'all have an issue with it, it doesn't matter. So after this year, I will no longer be referring to my people as black folk.
The officials in Virginia deliberately expunged the records. They destroyed the official records and most of the private records. I've got a statement that gets into the whole thing, but basically, a lot of Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas, and in their view, that meant that no one else in Virginia could make a claim that they were Native American, a descendant of Pocahontas, because to do so would mean that Virginia's ruling elite would have to be classified as all other non-whites were, which was, in quotes, and this was the law, the inferior Negroid race.
A U.S. citizen don't mean you from America. The U.S. is not America. And this is what our ancestors was going through with these motherfuckers. It was us versus the U.S., the motherfucking government. But see, y'all don't want to talk about the facts. Y'all scared to talk about the facts. They didn't provide no protection for our motherfucking ancestors. They knew these motherfuckers was coming over here doing the shit that they was doing to us by a motherfucking mass majority, nigga. They came both motherfucking shiploads in the 1900s, motherfucker. They don't want to show you the pictures. You gotta get out of this spell that you under. I'm so done with my family. All these niggas act like they thugs. They'll do this and do that. And I'm telling you, what would you do if somebody disrespect your mama? If they hit me, what you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna fuck them up. But they hit my mamas. That's still your motherfucking mama. It's grandmama. I'm sick of you motherfuckers. You talking about you not your ancestors. Bitch, your ancestors wasn't no bitches, bitch. I'm trying to tell you. It was wars out there, the guerrilla wars. They don't teach you about this shit. Motherfuckers!
I always find it funny when people are like, Black Americans don't know where they're from. And then I'm like, friend, we have a whole family archive just on my grandmother's side from the folks who lived in these counties. Like, she thick. It goes back. Like, we have all the people. And we have the pictures. All the pictures. But I want to show you because you all may not have seen how they put the genealogy reports together. For example, we go back as far as we can. And the way that we list it is that we have to verify this through official documentation. So either birth records, family Bibles, obituaries, or census records. That's 1811. Where's your grandparents from? Tennessee, Alabama.
So I asked you which tribes in Africa we came from, since you're so sure we all came from Africa, and you gave me this list. Okay, so you know this how exactly? Was it through oral tradition, colonial paperwork, those DNA testing kits that groups whole regions in West Africa into one result? Those DNA testing kits can't even tell us which tribes we came from. So what are you talking about? You literally just listed a bunch of tribe names. Listing these names without actual lineage, genealogy, or documentation proves nothing. So once again, I ask, how do you know which tribes in Africa we came from? And I can tell you not one of us. And the reason why I can tell you not one of us, because you're all up and down my comments swearing up and down that the term African American was widely used by the masses before the 1980s and before Jesse Jackson. And then you're listing all these publications. First of all, I said it was coined, it was pushed, it was popularized in the 1980s by Jesse Jackson. And you know how I can tell you not one of us? Because this is what you say Black American means. You said Black American is a person who is a U.S. citizen or resident and identifies as Black, typically having origins in any other Black racial groups of Africa. See, like, this is what we mean when we say delineation matters. Because it's almost as if you gave me the textbook version and not the actual lived experience, because it's not just a color and it's not an African origin either. It's a specific lineage that's tied to this land. Black American, foundational Black American, Solon, American Indian are all the same people. Each one refers to a specific timeline. American Indian, the root. Solon is the time where our ancestors were enslaved. Foundational Black American refers to the time period when our ancestors built America from the ground up. We built the foundation of America from the ground up. Whichever one you choose to resonate with, I'm not talking to you because you're not from here, but I'm talking to my people. Whichever title you choose to resonate with. One root, different branches. And if you are one of us and your lineage go back generations on this land, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go find your oldest elder, go find your oldest living descendant, and go ask them, was the term African American widely used by the masses before the 1980s? And I want you to come back and tell me what they say.
Nope, I'm not going to pretend with y'all tethers.
I explained to them that a foundational Black American was simply a descendant of an enslaved Black American. So when they start saying what is FBA culture and FBA history in this country, and I started running down the facts and the ballistics, they said, no, that's African American history and African American culture that you're explaining. We want you to explain FBA culture. See, right then and there, me being the game peeper that I am, because I can never be a lame from Maine with no game. You did? I'm not gonna let you run that slow ass game on me. So you just got through calling this sister a pretendian, and now you want me to pretend. You want me to pretend that the term African American applies to anybody else besides African American descendants of slavery in the United States. That's what you want me to, you want me to pretend that it applies to you because you're African or you're just Black. It does not apply to you. The term African American belongs to descendants of enslaved Black Americans. Do you understand? I am not going to pretend with you. I am not going to entertain that. So when you ask me to give you FBA culture because what I gave you was African American culture, you dumbass motherfucker, you know goddamn well we ain't nothing but a bunch of African Americans who decided to give ourselves a new name. And the reason why, or part of the reason why we decided to give ourselves a new name, is because y'all keep trying to tether on to our identity. And we are through sharing our identity with y'all. So we just said, okay, fuck it, we're going to call ourselves Foundational Black Americans. We're done turning on a hotspot so y'all can come in and tether along and get free internet. You gonna have to get your own internet, man. Ain't no more Wi-Fi, bruh. Y'all ain't finna keep tethering on to us. Now, the only reason why y'all keep trying to separate the two is because y'all don't want us to do that, because y'all been riding for free for so long. Y'all been tethering along and riding for free for all this time. Now y'all got a problem with us calling ourselves FBA. Y'all want to claim that we ain't African Americans, like it's too different. No, it's not. You can't find Foundational Black American on no census form. You can't find Foundational Black American on no job application. It's not a federally recognized identity. It's not identified. It's not an identity that's recognized by nobody. This is word of mouth. This is word of mouth at this point. But the thought of us making this a federally recognized lineage scares y'all, because y'all know y'all can't tether on to us no more. You see what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no hiding behind black. Black is too much of a broad term for us to identify ourselves with.
I wondered, we all hear about Native Americans dying off quite a bit because of diseases, and I noticed you only mentioned one. I wondered where we were with that episode.
I wish I could give you a better answer than the answer I'm going to give you, and that is, I'm very cautious about disease and using disease to explain massive depopulation without some more written and archaeological evidence of it. The striking thing when you look at the colonial records, the 16th century especially, is there are very few references to large-scale epidemic disease. Elsewhere in the Indies, if you look at historical demography in central Mexico, in what becomes Colombia, New Granada, and Peru, when disease episodes like that happen, people write about them. Friars write about them, lay officials write about them. Everybody makes mention of these things. And right now, what's striking in the Florida example is how rare those references are to large-scale disease.
J.P. Morgan in 1906 hired a photographer called Edward S. Curtis. He hired him to create a fake narrative of Native Americans. He hired Siberians and some Asians that were working the railroad, and he dressed them in costumes so they were reclassified as indigenous Indians.
Y'all know what I find strange, like, for real. We over here in another continent, okay, as Black Americans. We've been on this land for a long time, family, a long time, okay. You know, the fact that people actually think we Africans, like, and I get it. It's in the name. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Democrats knew what their plan was long time ago. Okay, we finna have some people immigrate here. We gotta have their ass blend in with these blacks that's already here. Great game plan. Okay, great game plan. But I mean, like, mentally, you know, culturally, like we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just baffles me how third world Africa really is, and how sometimes how these people are really uneducated, you know what I mean, about us, and who, you know, like, they really don't know nothing about us. Okay, family, like, these people don't know shit about Black Americans besides us fighting for civil rights and stuff. They don't know nothing. They really don't know the history of this country. And that's why I was like, you know what, when I think about it, it's like that's why I really don't want to get into it like I used to on this page. You know what I mean? Even though I still get into it, but it's like,
these people do, like family. They don't have the education that we have. You know what I mean? And arguing with them is kind of asinine a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Because they are so uneducated about us. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of their arguments come from jealousy and hate and vitriol, or you know what I mean? That's and what they see online. You know what I mean? Everything that they argue about is just from what they see on TV. They don't know shit. It's like we can say whatever. You know what I mean? We can say whatever we want. That we ain't African American. They don't shit. That's all they ever heard. That's all they ever knew. You get what I'm saying? Like, and us saying something that's estranged from that. These people are like, fuck do you mean? You are African. You are African. That's all I ever see. That's all I ever know. And so I kind of get it. You know what I mean? Like, our history, our true history, it's never been taught. It's never, only we know our true history. You get what I'm saying? These people coming from foreign lands, they don't know shit but what they saw on their television. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but when they go to talking shit, you know what I'm saying? You just be like, shit, well, fuck it, I'm getting the ass. You know what I'm saying? But really? Yeah, there's no point. You know what I'm saying? These people education is like, fucking, you know what I'm saying? We ain't get nowhere. I'm just saying, you gotta really think about this shit. This shit is pointless when you come with these type of minds. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Hey y'all, I hope y'all 2026 is going really well. Before we get into the wrap up, I just wanted to give a special shout out to our sister Mia Shea. Is it Mia or Maya? Please correct me if you see this. But I'm gonna say Mia Shea, aka Mia Kim. Thank you so much for becoming a new subscriber. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the tribe. It's good to have you. And then thank you, Yokoki. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for this generous donation. This channel runs purely on the energy of the people, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the soul energy of my people. And when y'all show it, when y'all manifest this energy in the physical resources like this, it just, it strengthens that frequency, and it keeps me going. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate your sub, and I truly appreciate the donation. And I'm going to keep on rocking. We're going to keep on doing this. All right. And I hope I live up to the expectation that you have in bringing this true story to light, by highlighting our people and bringing the story that the teachers and the schools have failed to teach us. All right. So thank you again, Mia. Can't nobody tell us who we are when we already know that we are the copper-colored aborigines of this land. And it's time that we stop trying to get into it with these folks, ones that think they know who we are, but really have no kind of formal education, or, and that's just coming from an educational standpoint. That's just coming from the basic academics, that you learn in school, that a lot of us has known and are trying to unlearn and relearn, as far as the true story behind the history of who we really are. But a lot of these folks that try to get into it with us do not know. They do not know who we are. They don't even have the basic education of us outside of the civil rights movement. And so I agree with the last video that was said. And then you know, as far as these other ones that are trying to argue down the whole African American thing and the foundational Black American, what's the difference? I get the confusion. Now, I'm not saying that we're completely perfect. A lot of these labels have kept us in a state of confusion. The Black label, period, as we call it, foundational Black American, Black, they do tie Black and African American together legally on the census, legally on the Standard Form 181, which is authorized by the Office of Personnel Management, which is a federal department. It does say that Black and African American, they are a racial group of Africa, people belonging to a racial group of Africa. And that's why I personally mark American Indian on all of my papers. My status is American Indian. It's not Black. It's not African American. I don't go by foundational Black American because, like one of the sisters said, American Indian is the root. And those who know who they are, those who truly know that the root is the root. And yeah, you have different branches and you know, you want to claim different things. And those are still my brothers and sisters. I have no problem with that. But as for me and my household, we are American Indians. We are the root. And we recognize ourselves as such. There's no confusion here. And in a perfect world, I would desire for all of us to drop that Black label and to go with the root. We are Americans in its true definition, the 1828 Webster's Dictionary definition, the very first definition of an American. But like I said, everybody has their different titles, their different ways, but as long as they know that we are indigenous to this land, we come from nowhere else. Yeah, we have brothers and sisters who were, quote, enslaved, but we really know that those descendants weren't really slaves. They were prisoners of war. And be it that they were prisoners of war, they were forced into a servitude. Yet, their lineage, their blood, had never left the land. And yes, there was an intercontinental trade of some of our folks coming from this mainland, which is now called the United States, going into the Caribbeans and different parts of, you know, America. But that doesn't erase the lineage. That doesn't erase their origins. They are still from here. And as long as you recognize yourself as an indigenous person on this land, whose roots are a part of this land, you are an American Indian. That is who you are. If that's what you know for a fact, that's what you know as true, that's how you can prove with your evidence through your oral history, through your paperwork, your genealogy. However, if that's what you know as true, can't nobody take that away from you. You are the root. But you can see where this confusion comes in when we incorporate the Black label, when we try to hold on to these misnomers and these mislabels and misclassifications. And when we allow that confusion to come in, that's when we allow the enemy, and not saying that all foreigners are enemies and that all of our enemies are foreigners. But that's how we allow the enemy, the adversary, to come in with their rebuttals and their sly talk and their pointless arguments. That's where we allow that room. And I'm telling you, Chief Steve is telling you that there is no point of arguing with these people when you already know who you are, when you claim the root and you walk in that truth as the root. There is no room for confusion. It's plain and simple. It's cut and dry. And for those who can't understand that or understand that, there's no need to try to argue that with them. There's no debate. There's no room for debate. You can't debate this truth. This was here before any other, this truth has been here for time over time. Way back. Nobody can debate this. So let's continue to walk in that truth. Let's continue to stand on business. I like the fact that our people are gatekeeping our culture. If you don't know, then you never will know. Because our paperwork, our oral history, that's none of your business. If you can't take our word for face value, then what's understood needs not to be explained. I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth with you. I'm going to tell you what it is and what it do. And if you can't get with that, then that's on you. All right. So continue to stand on business out here. And yeah, I appreciate everyone that's contributed to this content. Their tags are on the bottom of the video. You can see it in there, as the clips roll by. You'll be able to see their different handles and stuff on TikTok. And yeah, that's really all I gotta say. There's nothing really much to add on to that. That's pretty much it. What else can I say? This is Chief Steve signing off. Dr. Chief, I cherish you all. Yo, Kogi. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe to the video, to the channel. All right? Like and hype the video. Subscribe to the channel. All right, y'all. Chief Steve signing off. We'll see you on the next one.